There's so many good things in here. Enemies damaged by the navigator suffer. Okay. By the navigator suffer 2 times the navigator's perception bonus percentage. So it'll be 10. I think we're gonna go with that. Try that. Is it any good? Don't know. All right. 3 psychers. Good. Maybe my hard drive hiccup is done. We'll see. I'm gonna have to go on Amazon or something and get myself another. She is a buff machine. Yeah, she's freaking nice. Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. Sanctum Navis has been prepared for the communion ritual. But if the Lady Navigator wishes to rest in her quarters first, a heart starts beating furiously as your breath becomes short and choppy. Your fingers tingle unpleasantly. Notice that Vigdis is shivering slightly. The crew are glancing around in puzzlement. Uh-oh. Is it because the Navigator's feeling uneasy? First, I wish to speak to the rogue trader. Leave us. Oh, of course. When you're ready for the ritual, please let me know. What do you wish to speak about? I have not yet thanked you for saving me on the station. My thoughts were clouded in so much mournful ash when Theobald's heart stopped. But you acted honorably and did not exploit me in my wretched position. And for that, I am immeasurably grateful. I'm also deeply grateful that you saved my servants, especially my valet. Uwe? Doesn't matter, you're a servant. Served on the station for more than 5 years, much longer than any who preceded him. He knows how to properly attend me during the journeys through the Imperium, and has served me for breakfast. His presence envelops me in a cloak of amber. But now, I'm ready to go to the Sanctum Navis and perform a sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, the best paints you have on board, but no red. Tell me about the ritual. I doubt the uninitiated could understand the mysteries of navigation, but I'll try to explain the essence of it. I must merge my mind with the machine spirit of the ship so that I can become one with the vessel. After that, I use House Orsilia ritual, which I am loath to reveal to you, to free my mind of all errant thoughts, and then it is time to open my third eye and peer into the depths of the warp itself. Among the nightmarish visions, mirages, and creatures of the abyss, only the light of the Emperor is the truth that will lead me to the star to star, from system to system. Oh, the light, the guiding thread, so fine I can slip from one grasp at any moment. But you have nothing to worry about. The Navigator's House of Orsilia never lose their course. Why do you refuse red? Uwe will give his blood before the ritual, as always. Alright. I shall ensure the necessary supplies are delivered to the Sanctum Navis. I shall take my leave of you and the duration of the for the duration of the rite. I ask that you do not follow me. Few can survive the gaze of the warp eye when it is opened. Alright, I will stay away. Lord Captain, I oversee the open channel between the Lady Navigator and the bridge. May the Emperor light us all. Nice. So now we're going to have to go to another planet, right? Because we're still going to need a few more people. Initiating communication ritual. Come here, Uwe. Go. I see the violet vortexes lashing an ocean with million flails. The umber shadows spinning over the surface of a fiery dance, a storm rising above the foaming waters. Armadas drowning in fog, the path from one end to the other cannot be seen. And here, beyond the wall of glass, a daughter forsaken by her father yearns for her brother. The sun's pale disk goes in tireless pursuit of her. No, of me. A frozen ray lies and spring is here. It is a deadened. The great ruler is gone. My abject apologies for cutting off the broadcast, Lord Captain. I've never heard of the warp speaking through the navigator before. The connection is restored now. Will not happen again. 5 lashings. I'm not going to be an a-hole. Are you alright in there? It appears the servants were part of the Lady Navigator's right. It was for her predecessor. I will arrange the bodies to be removed from the Sanctum Navis after the ritual. What is left of it? Rogue Trader, I feel have an unfortunate news. Endless blackness and spread across the canvas, dividing what would be whole in two. And my sight cannot glimpse the light of the Emperor as clearly as before. I cannot turn around my brush. It only draws me onward. The way is blocked. By the Emperor's grace, the ritual was successful. Your vessel's temperament presented a challenge. Its cold steel grip did not allow me to breathe freely even for a second. It was as if the depths of the ship housed not only machine spirits, but something other. Now that I'll retreat to my chambers and recover my strength. Send for me when you have need. Lord Captain, congratulations on acquiring the Navigator. Spare me a few moments of your time, please. There are several matters that require your attention. First of all, I want to report on the condition of the station at Urek 5. Had you opted to begin your visit to the Reichert system with a different destination, the station would have become critically unstable. Fortunately, the decision to immediately visit the representation of Navis Nobilite brought us precious time. Now we can either send our forces to disassemble the station and procure technology components for our own vessel, or attempt to save as many valuables as we can. Components. As you command. With your permission, I would like to remind you that you are looking for an engine seer prime. Both the vessel and the machine spirits are desperate need of oversight by an experienced tech priest. We are also missing some crew. Much more importantly, we have not yet located Henrik van Calix, the right hand of the Lord Inquisitor. Now we know for sure he was not on Urek 5. But keep in mind of making your future plans. Thank you. As it pleases you, Lord Captain. Alright. So this one is done. So here's the prison planet. I don't know what... Got stuff there. We got an unidentified ship. And here's the prison planet. But I'm wondering what's here. Let's go here. Begin scan. Mobile mining outpost assembled in accordance with the Blessed Standard template construct. The small industrial complex can be deployed on practically any world, however inhospitable. The Serf clan assigned will devote itself to the maintenance and sacred mechanisms. Well, I can't drop anything because I don't have any. Okay. So, we do have outposts in the game, so I don't know exactly what, how that works. Lord Captain, here's some commotion on the officer's deck. The Lady Navigator has left her quarters and is currently in her wardroom. where our uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you should find out what has brought Cassia to the deck. It's all falling apart.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance.
Oh, I see you're fond of reading.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing. Urak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
The events must have shaken you. Are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Gotta make sure my navigator's all taken care of. Don't want her to start hating me. Your only attendant is your valet from York 5. Do my servants not measure up to your standards? Hope you have had ample time to calm yourself and your powers. Let's try that.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis Nobility.
Nobility, it's called. Okay.
But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior in your question just now insulting.
Hell. I have to.
No, it is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
Alright. Perception succeeded.
Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying. You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I.
Is there romance in this game? Though from her look, I don't think I'd want to romance a navigator.
I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
Maybe because I'm saying my feelings are more complicated than common sympathy. You have nothing to apologize. Human emotions are natural, good and bad, just natural to share them with others. I believe this conversation has reached its natural conclusion. You have nothing to apologize for. Human emotions are natural. It is indeed for me to feel empathy for a mutant. No. It's natural.
Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station. Of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So, why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here? At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls, and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... my delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
So, not gonna lie about this. Okay, so we picked up the navigator. I did not expect a navigator to be in a group with me. I was just thinking in my mind that we needed a navigator. They would just stick with the ship because we needed it and not be a companion. So I find it weird that how important a navigator is to my ship. I cannot warp anywhere without one. Why would I put them in danger to bring them out with me, possibly get killed on my missions? Because I don't think navigators are just find them on a whim. I think they're hard to find, aren't they? What I find childish is your manner of addressing me as if I were a friend. No, that's really terrible. I would dare to make fun of a lady's feeling, especially one who does not captivate me, since... I'm not going to hit on her, though. I understand what you're going through. My own life is turned upside down not long ago. Not in the habit of finding amusement at the expense of my people. Just remember to keep your emotions in check. I understand what you're going through.
Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so... private. My word, when I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
I could just keep hitting on her. Holy cow. If I may be so bold as to presume, my subjects must have found themselves overcome by your rare beauty as I have. Perhaps they don't want to disturb you? Oh my god. Is it so bad that we're enjoying each other's company, or would you prefer to proceed straight to my chambers? Perhaps people did not wish to disturb you.
Or because my presence offends them. Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to go to the prison planet. I'm assuming this is where we find people? Find more crew members? Oh, wow. I wonder how much different dialogue could be. I wonder if that you'd get that dialogue if you forced her to become your navigator. I wonder if you get any type of dialogue if you gave her to Felix. Yeah. Oh, and I leveled up. We'll level up when we get our group together. Interesting. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Orsirian's voice. In any case, I want to warn you in advance. I'm having a lot of issues just from getting planet to planet here. Also, I wonder what your dialogue's going to be like if you are more of a tyrant. I'm trying to be nice.
Greetings to you.
Which I'm
A
not sure how
pleasure
many
to meet you.
nice people are going to be in Warhammer. Thanks for the sub, vlogger. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on the lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. I apologize, sir. I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because you have already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence towards a higher-ranking officer will be logged in your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Arvilla Vent requesting permission to speak. A matter of extreme importance and urgency. I will listen to what you have to say. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary, but I am convinced that the step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by actions of one of the senior officers. You let a skeptical huff. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the action of Seneschal Syrian and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we'll have a mutiny of a massacre on our hands. There's an insurrection in the making aboard my ship and no one has informed me? I would deem it not a worthy problem, worthy of a rogue trader's attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up and dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took months to restore order, but even 8 years later, there were still battling rumors that a hero had survived his execution, was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once. Needless to say, the rumors were baseless. In the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than the salvo of 100 bolters. I'm sure that if the rogue trader addressed the malcontents directly, quell the unrest. I dread to think that problem will disturb the rogue trader with next. Perhaps you should ask Lord Captain to break up the brawls in the mess room. I've already given you the means to resolve the problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your lordship, I'm sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. Well, how did it all start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began with the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who had been killed on a drunken brawl. Reported to the chain immediately and arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive. The search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to head. Okay, where does the Seneschal come into play? I shall explain. Beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry. My competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There's an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled the internal problems myself, so, of course, when I receive information about cultists hiding on lower decks, I took the matter in hands. So long as I live, not one vermin who murdered Theodore von Valancius will find refuge on our ship. You're far too heavy-handed, Seneschal. Arrest warrants, arrest, interrogations, mass punishment for entire sectors that's driven people to the brink. Now there is a strike on the lower decks. Depot 4, to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection, but when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the maximum force. Here's Depot 4. It's one of the poorest sectors in the lower decks. It is the home to the clans of general laborers. They are not valuable to the ship as the families who have served at specialized systems for generations. They are an easily replaceable resource. one which now, or besides, giving succor to cultists and minions of the arch enemy. There's a Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but the worst of that means drunken fights and illegal rotgut brewing. We've handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And another important point to bear in mind: the problem is not limited to the sector. It is located in one of the most populated lower decks, and everyone that happens there has a knock-on effect in the neighboring sectors. All right, what do you have to say on this, Abelard? I see no need to add anything. I acted with the remnant of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interest of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm and rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault, and speak directly to the people. You see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way they will stop the uprising before. I am certain Essential was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decisions for myself. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support. An enterprising bordering on sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Oh, that's fine. Can I choose all of us? All right. Well. I wonder how many companions are in the game. I believe you get 6 people that you can bring with you. So I'm really interested to see what else I get. Because I would like to have an officer, the operative, soldier. I'd like to have one of at least of every classes, which is what, 4? Because we got what, warrior, an operative. I guess a navigator, she's her own thing. Oh, that's nice. I just threw acid at him. That's what it looked like. Lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Yeah, that went so well when they attacked. People dared to disrespect a senior officer? They would not have the chance to express such disrespect if we were not here. And if the situation had been dealt with by the relevant officer. Is a junior officer's worst failing to pass problems up the chain of command. I've never been able to abide it. I shall say it again. It was a mistake to come here. Lieutenant Vent's whim, Captain. Must admit that the lieutenant is by no means the worst material for an officer. But in the name of Terra, the girl is the same age as my eldest great-granddaughter, and she has the gall to tell me how to manage the lower decks and hunt down cultists. It will be another 20 years at least before she can be trusted to act without oversight. Did you hear? They're shouting your name. Of course they were. The organization of a daily routine life on the ship rests upon my shoulders. A mountain of challenges and problems from which I endeavor to insulate you, Lord Captain. The situation on the lower decks has been a cause of concern, and I have interviewed personally on more than one occasion. That must be why they remember me. They do not know your face. To them, you're akin to the creature of legend, one who has stood on the steps of the Golden Throne, no less. Whereas I'm a man whose name is attached to every order, docking, rations, wearing base heating. Let's keep moving.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.